So I always give it a second or two before I start talking because the camera's wiggling and thinking and all that. The camera seems to be gravitating slowly down, and this right here is my yarn swift. So it's completely possible that it will gravity down enough to hit the bar that's going past it. We'll see. I don't have my teeth in. I thought about it. I thought about regular clothes and getting dressed up, and I think about a lot of things, and yeah. I did get all dressed up the other day and set up the thing to do a video, and dysphoria is a thing. I couldn't get past my appearance. Yeah. So this is the pink that's going into the cardigan blanket coat. Okay, don't laugh. It's pink, okay? It's pink. It's got a lot of threads still to go, but what still needs to be done. Okay, I said on Facebook that I was thinking about putting pockets in. I'm really seriously thinking about putting pockets in. I don't have any black yarn left. Well, I have that much black yarn left because this black yarn is not the same gauge as this black yarn. It was all in the same bag. I don't know if you can see or not that it's really ragged. I don't think that showed. Anyway, somebody had a bag full of tangled, knotted yarn and said they were going to throw it away, and I am not the pack rat, my husband is, but I don't like throwing things away. I really don't. I don't like, if I know I can find a use for it, I'm going to grab it. This is a very warm winter weight coat. I'm not going to put sleeves on it. I'm not a good enough crocheter to do sleeves well. This is what I got out of it. And there. Yeah, I'm not that good. What it's going to get is another another couple of inches, 2 to 4 inches on either side, so that when this is flapped, it's all pink instead of being pink and black. And then it'll be kimono style, it'll wrap. So, like I said, the pockets I'm not sold on. This pocket would show, but that pocket would be obscured, and I don't like doing work on something that's going to be obscured. I'm lazy. No, I'm not. So, the house is pretty trashed. We unboxed 50 to 60 boxes. We did a swatch. You're not going to get the whole thing in. We did a swatch all the way to the wall in the back room because it occurred to us that we couldn't get to the window, which means that there was an air vent blowing cold air onto boxes, and I didn't want to risk mildew. And it also meant that come wintertime there'll be hot air blowing onto those boxes, and again, I didn't want mildew. So we cleared all the way to the back, and his camping gear was back there because it was supposed to come out of the room before the room was loaded. So we did all the way to the wall, we pulled out the camping gear, then we did an L until we got to the air vent, and then we put shelving in to protect the window, because if a box slid, we'd lose the window and we wouldn't be able to get to it. And Miss Anxiety here was just fixating on that possibility, and it doesn't help that some box slid and pressed against the window and you could see where it was damaging the blind and pressing. So we spent 3 days and took everything out, put the shelving unit in, and then put some of it back in because it was stuff that we identified as doesn't need to be touched right now. But the majority of the stuff, 50 boxes worth, was stuff that's like my kitchen stuff and his clothing and books and records, and it all got put into the area it's going to live, but we still don't have the furniture to put things away. We have 3 IKEA cubes. That's a table. We have 3 IKEA cube sets, you know, the 8 1-foot squares, and 1 dresser, and a couple of small bookcases, and about 5 of these tables. That's what we have right now, and a couple of chairs. So furniture is on our list, but it's not high on the list because we want to do it intentionally. It's like we want Billy bookcases. Billy bookcases from IKEA. If you want to do something, Billy bookcases from IKEA. I like the dark brown ones, dark red brown ones. He wants white ones for the living room. I like there's a green color that comes out occasionally. I like that. I like black. We need probably, okay, my room needs 2. His room will need 2 or 3. Arts, crafts, and kitchens needs at least 1 full bookcase. And the living room is going to need 3 to 4, to give you an idea. IKEA cubes, I don't know what they're called, but they're square cube things. We could probably use 5 of those. Okay, that makes life a lot easier. We're going to need a couch. The couch that went from the house to Hawaii and back, it's seen better days. I mean, it's really shop worn. It's in the garage right now. So we'll need a couch eventually, but we don't have space for it yet. Yeah, I'm just winding up a giant skein. I buy bags, hefty garbage bag size bags of yarn at thrift stores. That's what I made the 100 hats with last year. I'm going to be making a whole bunch of, I don't know if I can reach it. Let me see. Yes, I'm going to be making a whole bunch of classic granny squares with all of the things that are too small. All of these. Don't tangle. All of these size balls that I get. And then eventually putting the granny squares together into an Afghan. That's a huge rant of mine. Okay. If somebody loves you enough to give you an Afghan, cherish it. Take care of it. I see so many people treating crocheted and knitted stuff as disposables that I lose faith in humanity, or at least in that person. Okay? An example. This is thrift store yarn. Yeah, the giant bags that I get cost maybe $10, and you get pounds and pounds and pounds of yarn. If you go to Michael's or Joann's or a yarn store, this is $20 worth of yarn. And I'm only halfway done with the skein. Okay, my wool yarn, which yes, I do stuff with wool yarn as well. But I'm flat broke enough right now, I'd rather sell the yarn than work with the yarn. The purple shawl I made is out of some yarn that I spun. It's Icelandic. I'll show you that another time. We're at 8.5 minutes. I'm going to try to go at around 10 to 12 minutes. I was trying to keep myself to 5 minutes before, and it was real inhibiting. But that's just based on how long it takes to upload the video. I could go as long as I want. Anyway, going back to Afghans and stuff. This right here will have 5 jumbo skeins in it by the time I'm done. This is 1 jumbo skein of black. This is 1 jumbo skein of black. So far I've put a skein and 3/4 into doing the back and the trim. And I'm going to put this in doing the trim all the way around. So it will be 5 skeins by the time I'm done. Jumbo skeins, not polite skeins. We're talking huge, the big ones you see at Michael's and Joann's and Walmart's and that kind of places. Generic cheap yarn. Those jumbo skeins are $10 each with a coupon on sale, $10 each. This sweater is going to have 5 of them in it. That's $50 just in generic cheap yarn. $50. If I were making an Afghan, it would take, last large Afghan I made took, it's been a little while, since I bought yarn and made an afghan, not since I made an afghan. Okay, the blue and yellow one. I had 1 jumbo of blue and 3 jumbos of yellow. No, I didn't buy them. Somebody else gave them to me, but they were brand new skeins unused that they didn't want because of the colors for some reason. I don't understand people. Anyway, that was 5 jumbo skeins for that pattern. It made a twin size bed afghan. That's $50 worth of fiber, let alone the week of work. Okay? Anytime I see an afghan, or an embroidery project, or a cross-stitch project, or anything homemade, and somebody's not treating it like a family heirloom, you ain't my people. You ain't my tribe. That's all I gotta say. Okay? Not just on the expense. Okay, let's take yarn. Let's take yarn. I buy the tails these days, the roving, okay? The processed, ready to spin. I used to do raw fiber. I'm going to do raw fiber again. It's cheaper. It's very satisfying to me to take this raw, shit-covered, nasty bag of grossness and turn it into something beautiful. That's very satisfying to me. But I'm buying roving right now. Roving runs generic, cheap, coarse roving in wool runs $15 to $16 a pound. High quality merino, superwash, beautiful, soft roving costs $30 if I'm buying in bulk, if I have enough money to make it worth it. Okay, $30 a pound. It should be costing $60 a pound. If I was going to the yarn store or the fiber store and buying 1 braid at a time, then you're looking at $16 to $18 for 4 ounces. My wheel, the one wheel, spins a 2.5 ounce skein. If I spin it as a single and then I ply it, it's a 2.5 ounce skein. I go for 2 ounces because I don't like half ounces. I don't like having to do the math. I'm lazy. I'm not lazy. I gotta quit saying that. Regardless, I spin it. It takes 4 hours for 2 ounces. I ply it. That's another half hour to an hour. So I have a 2 ounce skein that cost me somewhere in the neighborhood of $10 wholesale. That was 5 hours of my life. Okay? I sell it for $30. Whether I've dyed it or not dyed it, I put a $30 price tag on it. We're at the Rivers Mall. I have a little consignment thing going on for yarn right now, locally. If you want to buy yarn, you need to let me know. Anyway, I put a $30 price tag on it. Anywhere from $26 to $32, depending on the type of fiber, whether I dyed it myself, all kinds of quibbles. Whether I really, really like it, if I really, really like it, the price is higher because I might want to pull it out of the shop and use it. Anyway, $30. They're short skeins because I've spun that. To make this, it would take probably 15 skeins. Probably. Maybe 20. 20 skeins that cost at wholesale $10 each and 5 hours each. 20 skeins to make a sweater. If I made the sweater in order to recoup just my wholesale, I'd have to price it at $200. Never mind that it would represent 100 to 150 hours of my work. Okay, am I going to make myself one? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm working on some dark blue to teal sea, stormy sea colorway right now that I want to work with. But 20 skeins, that's a lot of yarn. That's a lot of spinning. That's a year. And to see somebody on Facebook today making a comment about how they had a family member die and nobody wants the ants, afghans, and sweaters. And she was an avid knitter, and they don't know this, that, or the other thing, and they're just going to take it all to Goodwill. Okay, well, Goodwill is a step above throwing it away. Ah, that's really unflattering. Goodwill is a step above throwing it away. But why wouldn't you want heirloom quilts, heirloom afghans? Okay, American society has started to see quilts as valuable, so now they're heirloom, but afghans are still throwaways. But why wouldn't you want something that has that much love and that much labor in it? Okay, my mom's afghans were just thrown away, or were given away, or were hung on a chain link fence during a yard sale so that they were destroyed and had to be thrown away. I really, really don't tolerate that. I really have some serious animosity towards not treating something as an heirloom that's handmade. You know? Anyway, it's been 16 minutes. That's my rant of the day. I'm on my second cup of coffee. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. I haven't eaten yet today. You know, I'm not hungry. Okay? That's the problem. If I was capable of using marijuana products, I could generate an appetite. But right now, just the thought of eating is making me nauseated. And no, I didn't eat those today. Those were a couple of days ago, and I have to clean up. I'm not panning the camera because the place is a mess, and I need to put my paintings up and my artwork up. And everybody thinks that we should just be done. And I try to explain that the husband works and he has a commute, and he has 10-hour shifts. Okay, 10 hours plus a 1-hour commute in each direction is 12 hours, plus the boy takes a long time to get ready in the morning, and 14 hours of his day is spent on work days on work. And yeah, I get him for 20 minutes here and 20 minutes there, and one day off a week he has to run errands and do bills and do VA and do all of that stuff. And one day every week we try to get out and go for a walk, go to a park, all that kind of stuff. It looks like I have contour on, but this is just my anemia. I don't know how much it's showing up for other people, but this is just the bruising that I get, and this is the side that had the stroke. So, yeah. Anyway, we will get 3 to 6 solid hours one day a week, and then I'm too tired to function. So he works on his own stuff. And there's a lot of things that are a higher priority than putting pictures on the wall. We have 10 years. You know, it'll get done. That, and I haven't found the pictures that I want there. So, now I'm thinking about 20 minutes because it's 18 minutes, and that means I have another minute and a half. But I don't know what to talk about. Blah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't know what to talk about. So I'm going to wrap up. This was a project I was working on. Yeah, look at the top of my head. This was a project I was working on, but I got 90% done and I didn't like it, so I pulled it back out again because I will do that with a project if I really don't like it. It was a poncho, and it was supposed to lay flat, and it made ripples, and I'm like, okay, it'll have ripples, and then it made more ripples, and then it made more ripples, and then I looked like a giant pumpkin. And the husband made a joke because it still needed the neck put in, and I was looking at colors to put the neck in. He says, oh, you should put green in for the stem. And in a fit at 2 o'clock in the morning, I pulled the whole thing out, and I'll start it again and try to figure out where I had the extra additions in that were causing it to cause ripples. It got really huge. I should have taken a picture of it before I destroyed it. Anyway, I'm liking how this looks. I'm going to like the pink. I know myself well enough to know that I'm going to like that pink border. I don't know about pockets, because they wouldn't be usable. This is crochet. It's not that strong. They wouldn't be usable as pockets. They would be visual. So I might use cloth. I might get some flannel and just sew in some cloth pockets. That might work. Nah. I'm thinking about it. Anyway, I'm going to try to do this every day so y'all can catch in and leave comments and talk to me, and I'll see you tomorrow.